Hey everyone, this is Cathryn, and I worked with her for a very, very long time, and she's here today to answer some questions for you guys, specifically Tanya. So I'm going to let Cathryn introduce herself, and we'll go from there.
Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it. I'm Cathryn. I have been in IT for almost 15 years. And I did a lot with IT before I actually got my first official IT job. So, Tanya, thanks for asking for a female's opinion. And I can answer one of your questions right away about does she have any certifications, and the answer to that would be no. I have no certifications. Well, I should take that back. I have a couple Google certifications, but that was well, that was just demands of the job that I had in education. So, so I guess a couple of certifications. That's kind of a specialized thing.
Google certifications are pretty significant nowadays, depending on which aspect of the field you're in.
Yeah. Right now, in my current position, don't make a hill of beans bit of difference for me. When I was in education, it meant a lot. So. I do, however, have a degree. I have a bachelor's of information technology with a concentration in network administration, and I am
this big shot over here.
Yeah, and I'm currently working on my master's in instructional technology. So I know there's been a lot of talk back and forth. Do you need a degree? Should you go to school? Should you not go to school? I think that it's a personal choice as far as the need part. Everything that I do on a daily basis, I didn't need to go to school to learn. On the job would have done it just perfectly. However, employers look at that degree as you can start something and finish it, and the things that I did learn in the books made it a little bit easier to apply in real life. But real life is always much better teacher than any book or any professor. And especially when you're talking about networks, it's really difficult to walk into somebody else's network and try and figure out the method to their madness.
That's one thing I talk about a lot. You can go from one environment to a different one, and it's completely different, and none of it will make sense to you at first.
No.
So going from one place to another, never expect the same thing. And that's just like going to school. They teach you one thing, very dead set, and as soon as you get out of school, it's like you could almost throw a lot of that out the window, because they're gonna, wherever you're going to is gonna show you how they do things completely, different from what you had learned even.
Absolutely.
So that's job to job.
That's the basics of networking are, it's networking. However, how different administrators apply that concept, that's where it gets all across the board. And it takes time. And I always ask, and anytime I've been in an interview for any kind of tech position that I've had, what's your learning curve and what are your expectations? Because you need to have a realistic idea of, can I walk in? Do I have somebody that can work with me on the current environment? Is it something I'm going to have to figure out all on my own? And that does make a big difference. And all of the tech positions that I've had, I think the most training that I received was at my very first one. And you had asked, would it be important to get a mentor? And the first job that I had, I did point of sale systems in the hospitality industry, so restaurants and bars. I worked for a company, and I went to a week's worth of training to learn how to program the databases. And then from that point forward, hospitality was my baby. So we did specialty retail, grocery, hospitality, but hospitality pretty much became mine. And I had customers all over the country. I basically got 3 weeks of working with the other, techs in the office. And then from that point forward, it was just kind of do it. And sometimes
that a lot.
Sometimes that's the best way to learn. Making mistakes, wow. Breaking things, really good way to learn.
Yeah, you'll never forget when you break something. that's one thing about IT.
Right.
Like when you break something, you'll never forget that for the rest of your life, and you'll learn from it.
Yeah,
so there's that.
You'll make sure you never do it again.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But I recently had lunch with him, so I had come across his picture on Facebook as, suggested you might know person. And so I friend requested him and I sent him a message and I said, Roger, I said, I'm back in the private sector. I've been in education for 6 years. And I can't even begin to tell you how much I truly didn't appreciate what you were teaching me when you were teaching it to me. But I use it every single day, and I thank him for being the pain in the butt that he was while he was working with me as, freshly graduated and not having too much experience, because everything that he expected of us and wanted us to do has really shaped me in my career. So I started in POS. I was traveling a lot. It was really hard being a single mom doing that, so I went to the safeties of education. And yeah.
That's one of my favorite jobs, working in education.
Yeah. And it is safe, but you're impactful and it's meaningful and it's rewarding. And then I worked at one school district for 4 years, started as their software specialist, and went from software specialist to data coordinator by the time I had finished my career there. You asked how does one, how does a woman get herself out of the help desk role? Any opportunity that you can have, take it. And by that I mean, there were 6 of us in our department when I started there, and we had one tech who was great. He's a technology director at a school district. He's going back and getting his MBA, but he is sharp. He is knowledgeable. He's just a real go-getter, but he was in the service, wanted to use his GI Bill, go and finish his education. Well, I was kind of bored just being the software specialist, and he was break fix, and so I went to my boss and I said, listen, well, I talked to his colleague and I said, hey, you think that you and I can handle this if we, tell our boss not to hire somebody else? And he said, yeah. He goes, I think we can do it. So I went to my boss and I said, listen, I've talked to Cecil. I'm pretty sure him and I can handle it. You don't need to replace Eric. And he didn't. And that allowed me even more opportunity to grow. So I learned a lot more about the break fix and imaging and the networks, and it gave me an opportunity to be out and in the buildings, because before I was just at the district office and I would do the trainings for admins and teachers, but I wasn't really in the buildings and seeing how the technology was being used day to day. And so taking over that break fix role and juggling the 2 positions was a lot, but it was an awesome opportunity. So learned a ton, and hands-on and in the field is by far the best way to learn and gain experience. So I then left that school district and I went to right across the river to Rock Falls Township High School as their tech director, and I was there for 2 years, and they hadn't had a person in that position for 2 months when I walked in. So I had nobody to ask about the network. I had no usernames and passwords. So I basically had to hack the entire infrastructure and figure out the method for his madness. And so that was a little crazy. And I had one vision for the school district when they first hired me, and somehow that vision morphed into something that didn't really fit with me anymore. So I happened to have an opportunity kind of fall into my lap, and it was perfect timing. So I went back to corporate America. I've been there since July. I'm the IT manager for, I have 5 plants and 1 corporate office. And I'm not hands-on, I'm not break fix. I'm more of the project management manager role. It's frustrating because I could help people. I don't even get the rights and capabilities to do so. I can't even delete a printer off my own laptop. Frustrating. And it's hard for me because I'm used to being impactful and I'm used to being able to make a difference. However, it's the 5th largest company in the world, so the opportunities for me to grow and to be able to do things are bountiful, and it really was a good move. As much as I say I hate my job because I really don't like what I do, I like the people. The company has great vision and mission. So it's just struggling getting used to a different role because I've never been in this kind of role before where I'm not hands-on.
I appreciate you coming out and doing this with me.
Yeah.
I know that everybody who's watching this will definitely appreciate that.
I hope so.
So thank you guys for watching. Comments, questions, whatever, leave them in the comments below. Thank you. Take care.
Thanks.